Hello everyone, this is Darren here with Creativity Unleashed, and in today's video we are going to be looking at the Bestarc 145. This is a multi-process welding machine. It is mainly focused on doing flux core welding. It will run 030, 035, and 040 flux core wire, and it also is a MIG welder that will run 030 solid wire. Another nice feature is that the machine will run on 120 as well as 240 volts. In this situation out in the mountains, we are running on 120 volts, and that works extremely well. So here I'll show you how to install the spool of flux core wire. This is 035 or 0.9 millimeters. Unscrew the wing nut and remove the different components here. We're going to set the spool in, make sure that the wire is facing the correct direction so that it feeds into the machine correctly. Put on the plastic piece, spring, washer, and wing nut. Also make sure that you're using the correct size drive roller. It comes with multiple sizes for different wires. And then you're going to feed it in through here. Make sure you get it into the groove, and then you'll have to feed it into the other little tube on the other side. Close it up, and conveniently this has a wire feed button inside the cabinet, so it feeds the wire out real quick. You can put on the consumable tip and give that a little bit of a tighten, and put over the protective nozzle that helps protect the threads and all from spatter. It's not as relevant for flux core wire welding, but when you're using gas and doing solid wire, it's definitely needed. Make sure that when you're flux core welding, you do the negative lead to the opposite side that you do for MIG welding. This machine has 3 wire size selections, and that will dictate what amperage it'll allow it to be set to. What's really neat about this machine is you're setting amps instead of wire feed and voltage, which makes it easier for a novice to use. Might be a little different if you're not used to that. Has 2T, 4T, that's your trigger mode, and it also has, you can turn it on gas welding or flux core welding, and in switching modes you have lift TIG and stick welding. So this machine excels at doing flux core. As I had said before, we're using 035, and I believe now we're set at about 110 amps, something around there. And we're just trying out by welding these 1/2 inch grade 5 bolts into a 3/8 inch plate. And we are going to be attaching right here some 1/4 inch 4x4 tubing for a mount for a metal shear that I got. We're just getting it tacked up, and then I coarse beveled the metal to ensure that I get a pretty much full penetration weld. I've been incredibly impressed by how powerful the arc is. It does not feel like it's weak or that it's not penetrating. There's really good penetration there, and it leaves an amazing bead. I've used quite a few very expensive machines that did not weld as well as this machine. It's amazing how technology improves over the years. My main complaint, as you'll see later on, is the MIG gun itself is kind of chintzy and did have a few issues, but nothing too big. It is kind of a standard cheap MIG gun. On this thick of plate, I definitely could have gone up to the 040 wire, and there would have been a bit less spatter because I'm running it so hot. There is quite a bit of spatter, but flux core also tends to have a lot of spatter. So here I'm just drilling some holes with the Vevor magnetic drill. I have been very impressed by how well these magnetic drills work. I will be putting out a video shortly on the subject. Since I don't have an iron worker for cutting bar and angle iron and plate and all of that kind of stuff, I decided to try out one of these manual shears. This one is designed to cut bar. And so I was just making an accessory to bolt it to my heavy-duty sawhorses, which you can find a video of building those on the channel. So on this machine, I'm set at 110 amps on 0.8 millimeter wire. So if you were listening, you would hear that the machine was stuttering, and it was that the wire was slipping. I didn't have enough tension on the drive roller, so I thought that'd be helpful to leave in there so you could see. So as you probably noticed, I've switched to solid wire and we're using straight CO2. I've now switched the machine from 240 volts to 120 volts, and we'll see if the welding is the same and how it handles it. Yeah, to me it's behaving the same. It's doing a very good job. So one of the only complaints about running solid wire is if you get a bit of a long arc, it'll start stuttering, but that is pretty common on these smaller machines. So if you haven't figured out yet what I'm building a shop utility cart. This one's kind of cool because it has a lot of welding, and so it's a good practice project to test the machine out with. So we'll throw some wheels on here in just a second, and I'm planning to add a whole bunch of accessories for clamps and hang hammers and flag hammers. You can see the quality of the welds is exceptional in my opinion, especially there. It's starting to look really good, and I really love the way the machine welds. I have been very impressed with the weld characteristics of the machine. I tend to run all of my MIG welding with 100% CO2. It is way cheaper. So here you can see the bar shear in action. This one can cut up to about a 5/8 inch bar. I had it for about 2 weeks, and then the hardened blades broke. They actually cracked. I'd cut probably several thousand 1/4 inch bars on it, but I assumed that it was going to hold up a lot better, so I ended up actually returning it. So that was quite a disappointment, but it is a really cool concept. So if you're not super familiar with MIG welding or stick welding, you may be wondering what kind of thicknesses of materials can you weld with this machine. Well, if you're using gas in the solid wire 030, that is good down to about 22 gauge and can weld a maximum about of a 1/4 inch. Of course, if you have bevels, you've beveled your material, technically you can just keep doing multi-pass and do much thicker material. With the Flux Core welding, since you can put in 040 wire, you can definitely weld a lot thicker material. But so much of the thickness of the material you can weld is subjective to the joint preparation and what kind of a weld you're doing, whether you're doing a fillet weld or a butt joint or So as you can see here, I'm back to welding Flux Core wire. So I'm adding these bars on to hang some welding clamps. These are made out of an old lawnmower's push handles. I should also mention, to get to some of the more advanced settings for fine-tuning the welding, you can use the amperage knob. You just push it in and then rotate, and that can raise or lower voltage for MIG welding, and also that gives you like the hot start parameters and some of that for stick welding. So I'm set up with Flux Core wire, and I'm running at 65 amps, and that says it's 17.2 volts. And here's the plate that I sheared, so we're going to tack these up. So if you're not really familiar with the differences in the weld characteristics between solid wire and Flux Core, here's a demonstration. I'm running this in Flux Core, and it's just a small box for hanging screws and bolts and stuff, or different fasteners I might be using while I'm putting a project together. And so I'm doing a whole bunch of these boxes, and I will do some of them in Flux Core and some in solid wire. And really the main difference is the amount of smoke and cleanup that is involved with the Flux Core wire over the MIG wire. The solid wire is a lot less cleanup. So you can see the Flux Core cleaned up with a wire wheel. Looks really good and is a really nice result. Just it's a lot more smoky and burned look. There you can see it before it got cleaned up. And here we are on to solid wire using straight 100% CO2. So if you're interested in purchasing the welding machine or any of the equipment I'm using in the video, check out the affiliate links below and that will help the channel out. So there I just finished adding some mounting tabs, and now these little cute boxes are able to be used to store all kinds of hardware and hang on the edge of the utility cart. So that worked out pretty well. Here you can see the machine disassembled. I took it apart because I was having trouble where when I pulled the trigger, the MIG wire didn't want to come out. And so I was looking for the problem, and it turns out that the contact in the switch on the MIG gun, even though it was making contact, it was like corroded and I couldn't even really tell, but I sanded the contact and then it worked perfectly fine. So just the quality of the switch wasn't very good. So now we're doing the shielded metal arc welding or stick welding, and I'm running 6013 1/8" rods and right about 100 amps, and it's doing a very good job. I also ran a whole lot of 7018, but I didn't get that in video, and it works quite well. I've had very few complaints with that. It will not run 6010, and I haven't tried 6011, but most of the multi-process machines do not run 6010 well. I always wish that the companies would make a multi-process machine that would actually weld 6010 correctly, and that would really make the machine a whole lot better. I haven't tried the lift TIG feature. It didn't come with the torch, and I don't end up doing a whole lot of lift TIG, but usually it's not very demanding of the machine, so I assume it should work quite well, and they normally do. So here's everything you get in the box: the electrode holder, ground clamp, you've got your power adapter from 120 to 240 volt, or your 240 volt, your hose here, some extra consumables, another drive roller wheel, some Teflon, the carry strap. One thing to note is it goes in here as well as it passes through here, but if you put the strap on you can't really open it, and so that's kind of a design flaw because you always need to get to the wire tension and stuff, and so I think that's kind of an issue, but not a big deal. Over here, of course, we have the spools of wire. They're only 1 pound each. Normally when you buy these, they're 2 pounds. So a few things to consider. This is definitely a smaller machine. It will only fit a 2 pound spool. The MIG gun itself is a bit chintzy. It is pretty standard in the industry for the very cheap machines, but I would like to see a better functional MIG gun that has less problems, especially since I had a switch problem on it. Another thing to consider is it only runs 030 solid wire. So if you're planning to be welding with gas all the time, and you want to have a wider range of thicknesses you can weld, the 030, like I had said before, can weld down to pretty thin material, but it only welds up to about 1/4 inch maximum, really, without doing a lot of beveling and stuff. And so if you're trying to weld mainly with gas, you might want to jump to a different machine. But if you're just mainly looking for a Flux Core welding machine that does MIG weld thin material extremely well, and you would like the flexibility to be able to stick weld a broken machine out in the field or something, it runs 6013, 7018 really well. Another thing to consider is that it has super short welding leads for especially stick welding. As soon as I got mine, I put a 16-foot lead on the welding stinger, and that made it way more convenient and usable for stick welding. You may want to consider doing that if you plan to do much stick welding. But overall, I think it's a pretty good machine for the price, and if you're just getting into welding, I love that it has the charts and that the digital interface is extremely easy to use. So I can see, even if you're an amateur first-time welder, this definitely would be a very easy machine to learn on. So I think it's really cool. Love to hear if you have any thoughts or opinions or questions. Leave them down in the comments below, and I will try to get back to you.